the plan today is just me giving a quick overview of what Rachel's all about. I'm not gonna go in like the real details of this game because things might change, but from what we've seen in the trailer and you know, in general, it looks like, you know, her general playstyle is gonna be the same. Her strategies are probably gonna be really similar. She might gain some tools, we don't know, but in my opinion, it's easier to adapt the existing stuff with a new one than starting from zero all over. So I think this is gonna be a great, you know, a little head start. If you don't know Rachel already, this is definitely gonna give you some more information. So yeah, where do we begin? What is Rachel all about? As far as I see it, Rachel is all about controlling your opponent. She's like, a lot of her tools are gonna make sure your opponent is gonna have to make decisions. You're gonna force them to play your game. And that's at the same time her weakness. Like, if you cannot get your opponent in your setups, in your game, she's gonna suffer from that. But in general, all her tools point towards being in control. For example, a lot of her normal strings instantly, or not always instantly, but a lot of times stun pretty deep. We're gonna actually turn on the frame data so you can see the critical damage part. That's how deep, you know, see? So she goes pretty quick into deep stuns. Also, a lot of her moves actually, for example, like this, that's 2 hits. Just like that, boom, plus 23. Or like this, boom, plus 37. She has a lot of that stuff. Another way she controls you is, well, in this game, we're gonna see how it's gonna work in DOA 6. But in this game, she has a lot of sit-down stuns, right? Right, so she is, like in DOA 6 so far, most characters' sit-down stuns have become like fatal stuns. And most characters have 1, maybe 2 tops. If she has all of them, whew, it's definitely not going to be all of them. But in this game, she has a lot of sit-down stuns. So the idea is she's taking away options, right? But yes, the downside is she is slow. AK is not going to sit-down stun, and AP variations were useless to begin with. I mean, the only one with AP that I would have used is like, you know, in that string, right? If you do this, just to get this, but there's better options for sure. Yeah, I'm curious what they're gonna do with that in. So what? Only this one? This one totally sucks. Like 8K is really good, but we'll see. Even if it might not sit down stun in 6, it might still have like a big stun, which in a way not as good, but kind of fulfills the same function. Anyway, another thing about her strings is actually a lot of them are safe. So for example, yeah, it's just PvP -1 safe. Things like this, things like this. What else? Dude, she has a bunch. This one, dude, back kick, super good poke, and it's safe. This is an excellent move. What else? H+K, which isn't safe, but for the type of move it is, -7 is not that bad at all. I actually find myself using this quite frequently. But yeah, another one. Boom. Same with this. Now, this one is an exception to the rule. As you're gonna see, she has a lot of moves that guard break, but they're always minus, you know, -1, -2, stuff like that. Forward kick is +1 or +2 depending on your range. So yeah, don't think like even if you're not willing or going to play her, keep in mind that even though it are guard breaks, at least in this game, they're usually just safe moves, right? Again, the big caveat being frames might be different, but if those moves are gonna have the same function or the same, you know, way of intended use, there's a chance that even though the frames might change, there's still gonna be either a safe move, maybe +1 some moves, I don't know. They're not gonna, it's highly likely gonna be similar, kind of the same. So yeah, her big downside is the speed, right? 11 frame jab. She has a 13 frame mid punch and mid kick. 14 frame, the low jab is really good though. And that's something, she has a couple of moves to help her with her slow speed, which down punch is one of them. Her down punch on hit is +1, meaning she can follow that up with one of her jabs or whatever, right? And be a frame faster. It's not super much, but it's helpful. Damn, she has another, yeah, down H plus K, right? +5. Like, this is a move, sure. They can block it. It's unsafe on block if I remember correctly, of course. But this one, it's hard to block this from neutral, right? And +5, that's neat. Because that means like some things like this, a 14 frame, which you can use to get in, a 16 frame like this, suddenly become way more viable. It's not gonna be, oh yeah, stagger escape, of course. Still +3, right? But again, the point of this move is you're gonna get some amount of plus frames on hit to be a bit faster with your other moves. You're gonna get some amount of plus frames, so let's say +3, right? But this suddenly is a 10 frame for this one, which is great. So that's some of the ways she can mitigate, or you know, her offensive hold, which is, let's see, it's +7, which guarantees nothing except, we're gonna get to that, it's +7, but let's say your enemy decides to attack you and you catch him. +11. What's that? Now suddenly you have guaranteed options. Like this. Which in turn, and this is the start of the Rachel Vortex. Because that's another thing she can do. She has a loop of moves she can do. And if your opponent keeps making the wrong choices, he's gonna be stuck in a loop. And this is where the stomp comes in. So with a lot of moves, like the offensive hold, you're gonna have the option to launch them. Like this. Then you can grab, you know, do something into stomp. And you can repeat if you want to. Now, it depends on the choice your opponent makes, right? So how do we best explain the whole process? So the gist of it is you want to get your opponent, you want to stomp your opponent. Why is stomp so good? +15. That's why stomp is so good. If your opponent stays on the ground, and let's be real, in DOA 6, people love being on the ground. This is good. This is good. +15. This enables you to do so much. And it's super dangerous for your opponent, right? Now, I do not think, I might be wrong because it has been a while since I've played it, right? I don't think there's like a guaranteed hit. Yeah, I don't think so. But still, basically that means if your opponent pushes a button, he's gonna get hit. Plus 15. Basically anything, you know, if they're a 9-framer and they jab, it's like, compared to you, a 24-frame move. You know, let's ignore the whole neutral frame stuff to keep it simple. So basically, unless you're doing like this, like a really slow move, most of the moves, if they push a button, you're gonna hit. And the whole deal is, with Rachel, is you can do it from a throw. That is a big part of the loop, right? If you can throw him, you can actually do a combo, which is powerful in its own right. I think this is the bread and butter combo. Boom. And then you have an opportunity to stomp. Depending on the choices your opponent makes. So let's say, for example, your opponent decides to push a button, right? So let's put it on. Let's say they do a high punch, a little jab. If I do the offensive hold now... Oh, I forgot to stomp. Yes, you have to stomp for this to work. Stomp. Now if I do the offensive hold... The offensive hold is 17 frames. So they can just start doing their move, get caught by it, and from this, you can do this again. Guaranteed. Do this. Boom. You can do it again. If they keep trying to push buttons, you can keep doing this. Through all of this, in most situations, your opponent is gonna have to make like a 50-50 decision, or you know, like a three-way decision. You're always putting your opponent in a shitty situation. That's the idea. Like with a lot of her normal moves, right? The fact that they stun so deep, you're gonna have a lot of opportunity to bait out a hold to get this throw in. Once you get the throw in, you know, let the games begin. You can go for this. Now, the moment they start recovering, if they get up, you know, with a recovery on, see, you're not going to be able to do this anymore. You're not going to be able to stomp. And that is going to be something, you know, stomps are really fun. At some point, your opponent is probably, in a lot of cases, is going to get up. And the fun is kind of over. Now, that doesn't mean you're in a bad position. Of course, if you input the stomp, right, and they get up, yeah, you're in trouble, right? That's not good. But, you know, if you expect them to get up and you don't do anything, you know, you have all the time in the world to just start the pressure again. Start doing whatever. You know, she has save moves enough. She has setups enough, you know, do whatever. She can jab into the offensive hole. There's so many options. And that's kinda Rachel, her playstyle. You want to keep your opponent guessing, keep the pressure on. The moment you let your opponent, you know, develop their own game plan, the moment they're making the decisions and you have to react, she's gonna have trouble. You're gonna have to find a way to get in there again and find some way to control that matchup again. What more can I say about her? I mean, we can do some bread and butter combos, but they might change in DOA 6. But in general, once you launch, you're gonna either doing this, hopefully not against the wall, which does, I mean, that's another thing about her, right? She does good damage. I think you can even stomp after this. Yeah. If they don't get up, or if they do a wake-up kick, you can stomp. Or the other option, which is probably the one you're gonna see more, is, you know, that little combo here. Yeah, her back PP, by the way, probably her main tracking move. Though H plus K is up there. So yeah, most of her combos are gonna be a version of doing this move in the air, or doing the whole cycle with the air throw. Anyway, that's another detail about her, right? She's super heavyweight. So her combos, doing a combo on her is doing a combo like on Bass, right? At least in this game. I assume it's gonna be the same in the next game. A lot of people did 5 PP into her spin. Yeah, because that's a combo, right? That's actually here. 1-2 punch, roll through. But that's, you know, that's her PP mix-up, right? She has a mid, she has a high follow-up, she has the defensive hold, and she has the roll through. Which, if I'm not mistaken, the punch launches. Yeah. Right, but that's kind of the gist of it, right? You want to keep your opponent in your game. Force them to make the choices you want to make, right? Keep them guessing. Keep them, you know, whatever, right? But in general, I think she's a simple character. As in, she's not that complex to learn, to be honest. But she plays DOA really well. She has no real bullshit. It's all about, you know, the stun game, fishing for holds, if not keeping those choices nice and few, right? Yeah, I think she even has, not super good, but she has some good poking moves to get in, right? Especially this one. This one's great. This one too, though, if it hits, pushing them away, but you can run up, right? But this one's +1 on block, so yeah, her roll through, I don't know. I mean, it's useful, but I wouldn't overuse it, because both options are unsafe on block, right? They get blocked, you know, you're in trouble. So don't overuse it. Anyway, we're gonna try and, you know, see what I still know or still can do with her in a game. Kevin makes me want to curse. Look, it's the original stage. Woohoo!
強い人間にしてはね
Rachel is sick. Did you see that? Just make a couple of mistakes, keep him in the loop, and boom!